future of the Black family. To discuss this, we must address the patterns of its past and present to gain a glimpse of what awaits us on the next turn on the winding road of Black America's past. The Black family has historically been the breeding ground of groundbreaking individuals, the incubator for some of the world's greatest intellectuals, and the home that has harvested the cream of the crop. But unfortunately, the dark cloud of our present is beginning to shadow the enlightenment of our past. The family portrait of America's Black family today depicts a community in the same picture, yet fails to create a cohesive image. And that many times we are in the same situation, with the same problems, yet struggle to piece ourselves together to cultivate a collective action to resolve our issues. The fleet that once sailed against the tides of injustice and inequality is now the docked shipwreck of our former glory days. Tonight, I wish not to discredit the accomplishments of our generation, but instead to challenge us to continue the tradition of surpassing the status quo. For while we can accredit ourselves for helping a Black man claim the Oval Office, we should aspire to create more household environments that can put one there too. The future of the Black family. Some may argue that its fate will merely be a consequence of its circumstances, collective products of our environment cut and pasted into households. One would think, what can we expect from a fatherless generation? What can we expect from households engulfed in poverty and crime? And what can we expect from children constantly reminded by the peers of their peripheral vision that their chances of succeeding are slim to none? But to conform to this regressive mindset would be to omit the prelude of our storyline. Because what we can expect from those households is what we received from a son of a father who enslaved him, Frederick Douglass, a man who received his education like crumbs off the table, yet his knowledge fed the abolitionist movement. What we can expect from those households is what we receive from the descendants of those seasoned and stripped of their cultural bonds, yet created a new one. Black fraternities and sororities who collected their lessons from the past, combined with their hopes for the future to create sisterhood and brotherhood, with the purpose of fostering a community in which Black people uplifted each other. What we can expect from those households is what we receive from a movement of Black people, a generation after intellectual imprisonment that made their literacy illegal, yet ignited a cultural and intellectual explosion of some of the world's greatest works, recognized to this day, known as the Harlem Renaissance. And for the first time in history, Blackness shunned its light to the world. How can we look back at our past and not be inspired by our obstacles? The Black family used to prepare its children for the world that wasn't on its side. Langston Hughes' mom even told him that life wasn't going to be a crystal staircase. But that didn't stop her from fostering a home that encouraged him to climb it anyway. So how has the Black family come to its present state of a generation who does not respect nor value life, let alone each other, of households that are not fiscally responsible, and of children whose education begins and ends at school and not at the home? The future of the Black family lies in our ability to address its present in hopes that our future actions are responsive to our former consequences. This begins with recalling our youth back to the manufacturing line of the household, because they continue to fail to function efficiently on the road of American society. This is evident in the low regard of human lives at such a young age. The bullying within our communities must not be tolerated, or else we will become our own greatest epidemic. It saddens me to see children as young as the age of 9 doing bodily harm to each other to the point of killing one another. We need to instill in our children that fighting is not a normalcy that every child experiences in life, but something that is very well capable of ending it. Moreover, the lack of respect is evident in children bluntly focusing their fight on websites such as YouTube and World Star Hip Hop, which is clearly indicative that they believe that there are no consequences for their actions. Our households need to teach our children that repeatedly kicking someone in the head, beating someone with a bat, or the one that sickens me the most, hanging a child with a rope on a tree, is not some careless prank, but a way of robbing someone of their life. The future of the Black family. It also lies in our fiscal practices. We need to realize that spoiling our children with superficial material items out of their budget does not afford them the life we never had. It just helps them imitate. For this reason, the highest infancy rate resides within the wealth of the Black household. For the lifespan of the wealth we accumulate barely lives to see the sunlight of our next generation. We must instill the importance of fiscal responsibility and invest in those things that have lifelong value, such as our education, and not temporary trends whose expiration dates are met before the debt of its purchase is paid off. Saving is what is key to saving the Black family. So instead of purchasing those $100 shoes that won't live to see the full school year, put it towards their education so they can live to see their full potential. Because not saving for our children's education makes us, not the teachers, the first one to say, we don't think on them making it that far anyway. The future of the Black family. It is in our ability to make our homes a safe haven for ambition again, before our children lose the ability to aspire outside of their environment. Seriously, think of the harsh environment of those before us and what they accomplished. It was because somehow, some way, their homes created a bubble shielding them from the gravity of their harsh realities in the outside world. So regardless of how heavy the situation may have been, they refused to let it weigh in on their aspirations. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., raised in a racially fueled society that institutionalized inequality, graduated from college at the age of 15. Yet many of our children today struggle to graduate from high school. While yes, we lack sufficient resources in our school system, and yes, our environment discourages academic achievement, yes, the government is responsible for ensuring equal education, and yes, our teachers are responsible for ensuring that our children learn the material, but even so, the institution with the greatest responsibility is the one at home. And if we continue to fail to develop the Black family in today's society, it will continue to give birth to premature Black communities, whose fragility must be stabilized by welfare's lifeline tube in its mouth. If home is where the heart is, we must let our actions be the shock that jumpstarts the vital organ of the Black community before it goes flatline. We are the future of the Black family. So this message isn't meant to attack the parents, but to inspire their children, us, to allow the present to encourage us to change, and the past to remind us of what we are capable of. We must become the future mothers and fathers that cradle the next generation with confidence and courage, that raise our children up to surpass our reach, and that stop using the architectural blueprint of the broken home that some of us may come from and learn from its flaws. What is the future of the Black family? The future of the Black family awaits in the pens of our generation. The next chapter written in the ink of our action. And I can only hope that we can give our children the fairy tale that was once only read about. Thank you.